mean, you got vaccinated, right?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
we're not supposed to go outside right now.
Yeah.
Like that's the like where
Because of the
there's so
smoke.
much smoke. And I went for a walk yesterday. This was a mistake. It looks like it's a thick fog. You can't really see much. You can tell, and this happens basically once a year. We'll probably wake up tomorrow morning and like the sky will be orange. Like there's pictures out there of like just an apocalyptic view in the morning to wake up to. So I went out for a walk yesterday, just trying to keep active with that whole thing.
Yeah.
And then I get back home and there's like all these warnings. It's like stay inside, like don't unless it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah. Don't travel.
Like don't go outside. And these are the warnings that we're given. And I'm like, why didn't I hear that? Why didn't I like? I should have just known. It doesn't look safe to breathe.
As I
that.
say, Sean, if you can't breathe, there's smoke and the sky's orange.
I get well. I haven't hit orange status yet. It hasn't hit code orange just yet. But yeah,
remember
I
those
don't
pictures
know.
out of Australia last year. Those were
We've been like that. We've been like that. There was a couple years ago. There's a city 5 hours north of us, and it was just
really
like
scary.
it was on fire. Terrifying stuff, man. I mean, Australia takes the cake, like really.
oh, of course.
And what a year too. Wasn't that the start of 2020? Isn't that how things like started?
It's all a
was
blur.
like- Exactly. Like that's the problem, man.
Yeah, it's all a blur.
We had an entire. Are they a continent? Like,
Yeah.
or is that yeah? Like an entire continent was on fire, and then it got overshadowed by a global pandemic. Like that's the only thing that could have done it.
Yep.
Where you go, did that actually happen? So yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I'm having a hard time kind of kicking this, to be honest with you.
Hey,
I've also not been doing anything at all.
You sound labored. I haven't done anything this weekend.
I played Skyward Sword all day.
I played Skyward
today.
Sword all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a new thing for me, actually, because the kids are like asking me to play it. They're like, Daddy, play your game. And I'm like,
Producer
can
Ryan.
do.
Producer Ryan, if you can, I would like you to snap back into existence when this game was announced and shown. And Sean was like, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to do it. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play
Yeah.
it. I don't think I'm going to get it, guys. It's not,
I got it
it's
coming.
not good enough.
I have this coming. I deserve. Is that it? That's? I'm getting off easy then.
I'm not going to do much to you. I mean,
I said terrible things about
I
Skyward Sword.
remember when you said it. I remember when you said it. And
one time?
as the listener, I was sitting there. I was like, what a load of crock. I was like, he's totally going to play this game. Like the day it comes out.
I don't know if I ever said I wasn't going to play it, but I was definitely recalling my time with it, and it was
Hey, if
it was
anything,
it's not good.
success story. They won you over.
Of course they did. They won me over. The thing is, like, they got me with Mario Golf. If they can get me with Mario Golf, then
Yeah,
pretty
we
much
knew that
everything
wasn't
else.
going to go well, and we still bought it.
dude, seriously,
Like we knew.
We all just
we knew. We were looking at it. We're like, don't like that, and we still bought it digitally.
still all like. It was just like
Digitally.
we're all in it together, right? Like we got each other's backs.
I
on
need to
this?
start the new tournament, by the way. This is a good reminder. I need to start the new tournament.
Oh,
I meant
for
to do that
3DS.
this week, and I just haven't got to it.
That'll bring some joy back.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I think so. I'm enjoying that. It's weird timing that I'm playing Zelda again because I'm going to be on the bus again tomorrow. I'm going back to work, man.
Yeah?
Going back to the office 2 days
First
a
time?
week. I've got my suit. Yeah. So I was listening to you on Empire, and I'm like, we are aligned on this because this is going to be a regular thing. Mondays and Tuesdays. It looks
Yeah.
like, and then I'll
See,
have.
I got
then
it
I'll have
easy. Right now,
Yeah.
I'm only going on Wednesdays, and last Wednesday almost did it in for me.
I felt for you, man.
Like I almost quit my job.
I felt for you.
It was
dude.
one day, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah. And like losing your spot. When did you find out that you lost your parking
When I got
spot?
there, like when I pulled up,
Like you tried to park, and you're
Yeah,
like,
there was
you're
somebody
not
in my
like somebody.
spot.
And it's exactly the same. I actually know that my desk is in the exact same situation as your desk was, where it's just like they didn't know where to put all this stuff. Like there's stuff at my desk. I know it because I video conference
Well,
somebody.
so
who
the
is right
difference
beside
is
the
the
desk. I
stuff
can
at
see
your
it.
desk is probably your stuff.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not.
No,
So
like
the
that's what I'm
stuff at
saying.
my
It's the
desk
same
was
situation.
just they didn't know where to, like, we had so much stuff coming and going. They were like, well, Donnie's not here. Just
Yeah.
throw it in there and we'll deal
Yep.
with it later.
Yep. Same here.
Yeah, man, I feel for you, but at least you get to ride the bus.
The ride in the bus is
When you
pretty-
get
I
that
actually had to
Switch
go
OLED,
grab some masks for that.
Bus ride's
I'm
gonna
not
be
get-
amazing.
I am not. I didn't pre-order it. I did not pre-order it. But dude, I mean, I'll talk about this on the drive too. But where is it? When does this ever happen? I did not pre-order this. I was not able to pre-order the
You just walked in and
Loftwing.
got one?
I just walked in and I got one, man.
You know, I was
What-
planning on selling my Joy-Con. And
Yeah.
after I got them, like I looked online and, they're doing, I think they're readily available. Like a lot of people got the one because there's a lot of people that are selling them. So you're not
Yeah.
really making that much off of them.
Right.
So I decided to keep mine and I just opened them. I was going to keep my Amiibo anyway, but yeah, I've had my Amiibo sit next to me. You got to take it out of the box.
I don't know yet.
Those Amiibos are selling, specifically that one,
Yeah.
selling for about $75 on eBay right now. And it's
Is it really?
It's just because of that delay. I think once it gets delayed, I think there'll be a lot of stock will come in and they'll go down.
Do they still do like the
But I
tinfoil
have-
underneath it? Can I use this in the box?
I have every Zelda Amiibo, so I wasn't going to sell that one.
Right. Yeah. I think I'm missing one. I don't remember. It actually might be the Skyward Sword Link. It might be the only one that I'm actually missing.
Got that one. That's a
I
good
think
one.
I've got and it was so expensive, like pretty much after it came out. I couldn't get my hands on it. But I had a good, like, I actually had a good, I was listening to you on Empire and I'm like, I feel bad because I had like an amazing week last week and it sounded like you had kind of the opposite. Just like not a good week at all.
Dev, I can't
How do
turn
we
the
make it better?
watermark off. It's the Logitech thing. It doesn't go off.
What is that?
It's the Logitech. This old camera that I have uses this old software, and it
Yeah.
lets me like zoom in and center it and get everything the way that I want it. So I'm using this for now.
Oh,
And,
things are flipped too.
It's flipped because I didn't like it when it wasn't flipped. I didn't like it when it's flipped the other way because I don't think
Oh,
I've
really?
ever recorded with my camera this way ever in the history of PSVG. I don't think I've ever done it where my desk was on that side of my camera. So I just thought it looked different and I didn't want to use it, so I flipped it. Just don't look at the logo, Dev. How about that? Just don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, exactly. Who cares?
Who cares? Exactly. It's at the bottom corner, man. Who
Where do I
cares?
turn? How about I'll turn it on too, just to be right with you. I got the same camera, same Logitech, whatever. I can turn it on.
I'm glad that you're here, Dev. Glad that you're here.
Definitely, same thing, dude. This was a sign though. Like honestly, I should have bought a lottery ticket when they had this Amiibo in stock. Like that's the kind of like okay, everything in
Everything's
life is
working.
going okay. Yeah, everything's all right. That was a bit of a kismet, is what Jose Jimenez would say. Oh, I'm still labored, dude. I think the smoke is getting to me.
I can hear
This
it.
is bad.
Like, it can
Dude,
hurt
it's
when
bad.
you
Like, I can-
joined. You need
Yeah.
some water. Like, do you want to go get some water?
No, it's like lungs. It's like I can't even like get a full breath in.
Yeah,
Like I don't know what's
breathing
going. I don't know. I'll be back on the bus tomorrow in a hospital. At least we'll have like nice filtered air in the hospital tomorrow.
Yeah.
That'll be okay. Things will be all right, man. Things are like did it carry over? You had a rough week. Did it carry over now?
I felt much better the next day. The next
Yeah.
day I worked from home. I got a lot of my
Yeah.
work done. And I just got better. Like just a really, really bad day at the office.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think the interesting thing is I know a lot of times it can sound like I'm exaggerating for podcaster effect or something, but
I
was-
never think that even once, not even a little bit.
when I was really thinking about it, I was like, man, if we ever go back to 5 days a week like this, like I may have to look for something else. Like that
Yeah.
might be what breaks me.
Dude, I think you're not alone at all on that front. Like I think a lot of companies are facing that now too, where they're gonna have to figure it out because people just don't. People have proven like there's no reason for
Yeah,
you
that
to
is
have
the
to
thing.
be.
That is the thing for me. Is most of my job is done online, if not like the majority of it, and I've done it all from home for over a year, and I've done it very productive and well.
Yeah.
I've never.
Is there talk of that? Like, are they thinking that
my
you're gonna
boss?
be back
Yeah,
in?
my boss is working with it, and he's trying to think of like what to do. I think what he's really doing
Yeah.
is I think he's winging it, and I think he's just
Yeah.
doing it like little by little. Like we've got some people, like I used to call her my protege. We no longer like in our org chart. She no longer answers to me, but she hates it. She hates working from home. Like she wants to come to the
Yeah.
office. She's very like social and she likes seeing with people. And when I was there,
Yeah.
like, she's like one of those water cooler people. She likes
Yeah.
dropping by 2 or 3 times a day and just talking to you about something, which I can't stand. but she
Get away from me. That's
right,
why I like working from home.
that's what she likes. So I don't know what he's going to do, to be honest with you. I don't know if there is any sort of long-term plan. I think for me,
Yeah.
I think it might be tough. I think we might have to argue over it for a bit, and I think we'll probably settle on some sort of mixed thing.
Yeah.
And then I think slowly he's just going to wean the rest of the staff to being back
Yeah.
in the office.
Like just Wednesdays, man. I think that's just it. Like you've been in this situation before though, where you're good at kind of dictating terms, I would say.
Well, I mean, I'm very fortunate that I have options. I don't have a lot of options, but I do have options.
Yeah.
I mean, literally the pickup of a phone.
Like going somewhere
I
else.
can go
Yeah.
work like right down the street.
Yeah.
So, and they'll let me work from home, and I probably have to take a pay cut, but it won't be that big of a pay cut. And like, you know, my boss, I don't think he could do it without me. I think it would hurt for me not to be there.
Yeah.
So I could play that card, but you gotta be careful, right? You know, like you can't play the card if you're not
You
willing
can't
to live
You
on
get
the
one
other
of those
side.
cards. Yeah, exactly.
You can only
And
play
it's
the
kind of
card
like a
like
no
once.
turnsies backies. Exactly, man. You can't go back after that.
I think it's just my boss has a lot going on with the county overall. Like we just have a lot
Yeah.
going on, and on his plate, I'm like the least of his worries right now. I think
Right.
honestly, I think he's bringing me in just to kind of make it seem fair with everybody else. I honestly think it's one of those situations where
Right.
folks are like, "Well, why can't I do what Donnie does?"
It's not the worst. Like why? Like how old are you when you say something like that? It's just
Yeah,
like,
but when
can
you're
you
in
just,
government, like
I know,
people
but
that get benefits that other people don't get, like that's a big no-no. You know, like
that drives me
you get
crazy.
sued
dude.
for that, and like there's all kinds of liabilities and everything. You know,
I don't know. It's just a different world now, though. You know, that like to revert back so quickly. That and whether or not it's about like working from home or whatever, it's the person who goes like, but they did this, and it's like,
Yeah.
just grow up.
yeah,
You sound like a 7-year-old when you say things like that.
yep.
Jose's recommending that I get a steam bath or a shower or something, clear out my lungs a
Yeah,
little
get a
bit.
sauna.
Yeah, that's
some
probably a
hot
good
tub.
idea.
A hot shower.
Yeah, I gotta
Some
eventually.
Fabo rub.
Maybe that is what I need. Just
Yeah.
just more chemicals.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more chemicals. I will say, Donnie, you know, for as much crow as I need to be eating about Skyward Sword and all maybe future
not-
crow
it's not
eating
crow.
for OLED or whatever. Well, I mean, there's a lot to talk
You
about
weren't.
with Skyward
Here's the
Sword,
thing:
so-
when the Skyward Sword happened, you weren't wrong. If anything,
Thank you.
you were in the crowd of people on Twitter that were doing it. Like it was the hot take to have. I think the person, like, if you had smart money, like you just had to sit back and be like, it's a Zelda game. You're all going to play it because you all always play it. Like, and it's
Yeah.
not just a you thing; it's just gamers in general. Like Zelda's a very popular franchise.
It was also coming off the wake of maybe a rumor that we were going to get even more than just Skyward Sword.
Collection. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was that whole thing as well.
It looks
And
incredible.
Doesn't it really? Doesn't it look
looks
so good?
so damn good. Like it's
Yeah.
honestly the only thing that's keeping me, like, because I'm not.
Dude, I did the yelling at your radio moment when you asked Rebecca, like, can you notice the 60 frames per second? She's like, no. And I'm like, are you crazy?
Yeah, you.
What are you talking
You
about?
clearly can. It
Yes.
plays so much smoother. And God, it'd be really bad if it was in 30.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
with the motion and the controls and everything, it'd be real bad if
Mm-hmm,
it's in 30. Like the 60 is honestly a big help for all of that. But
It is amazing just how central to the game the motion controls were. Like the directional. It's not even necessarily like motion, but just the directional stuff.
Yeah.
You're attacking all the enemies. I forgot about even the spider
Really-
webs
I really hate
that I'm
that
cutting
stuff.
through.
I don't. I don't know. I don't want to make like blanket statements until I'm through with it, or at least done.
How far are you
I'm
into
in the
it?
desert now.
Oh,
So I'm
are
in
you? Okay.
Chapter, I don't know, 5 or 6 or something like that. 7
Sure,
maybe.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I didn't even know what those chapters were.
I don't. Yeah, I
called.
don't
I
even
didn't
know what the
remember them.
chapters.
I'm on fire right now.
Okay.
I'm running
The
through
volcano?
rooms. I'm lighting on fire. Yeah, I'm about to get the.
Are you in the temple yet?
Yeah, I'm in the temple now.
Earth temple.
I just Earth
Okay.
Temple.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not too far
Yeah.
behind. I'm like in the next
Yeah.
section. Like
I'm
so,
like
I
right
got,
behind you. Yeah.
I went up to Sky Cloud and I went around. Sorry about my dogs. My food's being delivered. Dinner's being delivered.
All good. Sweet Hanks, man.
Yeah, Sweet Hank, Sweet 16, by the way.
Ooh, episode 60. Nice.
Yeah,
I
man.
like it.
We did so I went up to the clouds and I went and got all my goddess statues and got all my stuff and I got my big wallet. I got my
Yep.
net and everything.
Yep.
And I just dropped down and was getting started on the desert before I stopped to record this. And I think I don't think this is moving me at all. Like I think this is the definitive version of Skyward Sword. Like I'm really happy
Sure.
that I did it and I'm happy that I'm playing it. But at the same
Yeah.
time, with the controls, without the controls, like whichever controls you want to say is better, it's just not good. I just, I really,
Not expecting that.
well, no, hang on. Let me be more clear. I like the game fine. It's always been
Sure.
one of my least favorite Zeldas, like 3D Zeldas. It's the combat. The combat is just
Yeah.
not good. Like,
Yeah.
I understand why they did it. Like in their
Mm-hmm.
heads, they're like, it would be really cool if we made every battle with an enemy like feel like
Totally.
it. But it doesn't.
Yep.
It just never comes through. There is no execution on that promise, and it's boring. And
Yeah.
I wanted to post a video. I took a video of me fighting Girium where he just walks up to me, and I'm just moving my sword around in front of him.
Yep.
for like seconds at a time and nothing's happening.
It's a tutorial boss fight.
Yeah.
Is what that is.
Well, the game and like the enemies will do that so much where you're like sitting there and you're moving, they just swap and you're just like sitting there, look like you're dancing together. And it's just like,
It kind of does. It got a little jig.
yeah, it's like, this isn't fun. Like, this isn't Wind Waker's combat where it's like very smooth and you have the parry and you can like roll and you can use the hook. You know, it's not Skyward Sword's combat where like the animations and the attacks feel
Breath of the
like
Wild, you mean?
very
You said
heavy.
Skyward Sword.
No, I'm sorry. I'm Twilight. I'm thinking Twilight. Like Twilight,
Princess.
when you're
Yeah.
like really clanking the swords, you have like those sword battle face-offs and stuff, and everything just feels very dramatic. Breath of the Wild, at least you are like, you have experimentation and you can like really change it up however way you want from battle to battle. This game, the combat just gets so old in like an hour.
Yeah.
You're like, am I gonna keep doing this for 20 hours? Like, it just keeps going, and
Or 60 or 70
and
or
you
whatever
just-
it is. This is a long
I don't
game.
know about you. I just end up just like spamming the stick, and I'm just like, just figure one out. Just go.
I was really,
you know, 'cause
I was
it's like,
ready to,
Who cares?
I was ready to render my verdict on the controls after like 2 hours in, and it's gotten a little better. I'm getting a little bit used to it, but I'm fighting. I almost like, I think I even said somewhere, Discord or Twitter or something like that. I'm like, so I think I like motion controls better. Like I think, like
Yeah.
it's just turned it into directional.
We had
like,
a lot
thumb
of folks
clicking.
that said that in our Discord, so I tried it, and I do think the combat. I mean, honestly, just having immediate control of the camera is like a breath of fresh air. You're like, oh, this is good, and the sword is the same. It feels fine,
Right.
but the moment I got thrown into the sky and had to fly, I was like, oh, hell no. I'm not doing this with the motion controls. It's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
just awful. So it's not, that part of it's not good, but ultimately, I just think fundamentally, I just don't like the combat of Skyward Sword. And it really makes it hard to play.
Well, I bring it up to say that like eventually I've gotten used to it. Like that's probably the best thing that I can say is like I don't necessarily feel like I'm fighting it as much as I was in the beginning where I was like really, but I'm still like throwing
like the hit
bombs,
stick.
rolling bombs, like
I'm
kinda,
treating it like the hit stick. What I've found is if you grab the corner of the circle, like in the direction that you want to, so if you want to go from, you know, like bottom to top right,
Yeah.
grab the top right of the stick and just flick it. Just like you
That's
would
that's
like
exactly
on
it.
like Madden, right? And you just
Yep.
flick it in that direction. If you just do that, I'm like 90% of the time accurate, but it sucks because like that 10% when it's not, you just keep noticing it over and over again. And it's,
Well, because then you get hit.
see, that's
probably
the
you
thing. The
can get
thing
smoked.
about this that I don't like is in video games like that, the player agency over action is very tactile and it's important. And when you swing and it doesn't swing, that's frustrating and it's annoying.
Yeah.
So when they were building this game and they were like working on it like in its infancy and they were like, here's what we're going to do. Like when they realized it wasn't working, they should have aborted. Instead of like doubling down and be like, we're going to
It's
make
the
it
whole
work.
game.
You know,
it's
like-
everything.
I wish in the remake, I wish they had dummied it down. I honestly wish they had taken like Twilight Swords combat and just put it in here. Just get rid of it. Just remove it or
Yeah.
give you the option. Like just turn
Yeah.
off action-based stuff and just let you just, you know, I'd rather spam a button and play this with like a true camera control, like
Yeah.
Wind Waker, like Twilight. I think it would be a much improved game.
They gave me my inverted controls, so I can't be complaining too much. They
Yeah.
don't even give me inverted controls on Wind Waker. It's a
Yeah.
huge reason why I haven't played the game.
Oh, that's a shame.
But I've come around on it. It's kind of the
Yeah,
point that I'm
yeah.
bringing up here. Is I've come around. But what
I'm
I wanted to
I
ask
mean,
you
it's
about,
still a Zelda game, right?
well, and that's
Zelda
really
game's
it.
better than most other games.
Yeah. I'm playing it with my kids. Like they're loving it. Like they're just kind of, we can actually play this together. They can tell me like, go pick up the heart over there. Go get the red rupees. Like they're
Sure.
4 and 2. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Give
kind
them
of
the
fun. in
controller
that
while
way.
they fly around.
They honestly don't. They're legit. Like they're going to be the greatest like Twitch fans ever because they just like watching video games. Look at the meal that you just got delivered. Oh my God! Well, tell me about this. I actually just got I saw the plate and the heft of this thing.
I got a shortly before we hit record, I got an impromptu Uber Eats coupon for $25 off an order of $25 or more. So I bought the family sushi, and I have hibachi chicken meal with mixed veggies and a crunch roll and a tempura roll. And
Donnie,
that's
Donnie's winning right now.
that's what I'm gonna eat while we while we record. So I'm sure our listeners
Sweet
are gonna-
hangs.
Sweet hangs.
Just crunching away over here.
I'll try to back away from the microphone.
That's okay. Everybody wants me to dance in the chat. I don't know that it really anybody needs to see me dancing like ever.
What in the Bee Gees is happening? Why? Oh, is it because I said it's like because the Skyward Sword is like a
Because of the things, it looks like you're dancing, and
it
I was
does
kind of
look like
doing like
you're
there's
dancing.
there's actually like some enemies that put like they're holding 2 blades, so one goes on top, one goes on the bottom. So obviously got to You got to swing horizontally.
Yep.
I will say that playing with Lincoln is really fun because like I'm reading him the story. It's almost like I'm reading him a story. Every time somebody speaks, I read him the text and everything. And he's not necessarily interested in what they're saying, but he's asking what is their name. And he remembers, like he'll remember Aegis and Groose and all these other like Lead or whoever the diggers are in the volcano area. Like he remembers their names in this way that I'm like, I just never do. Like that's a level of, I don't know, Zelda fandom that I've never really gotten into, that I feel like Rebecca or
Really?
maybe even you, like I just don't remember anybody's names. Like
Oh,
maybe some of the,
definitely.
like Bruce, of course, I'll remember Bruce for all the wrong reasons. But there's all these kids, they like the Kikyuls and the Machi. We played yesterday and then played again today, and Lincoln like, oh, there's Machi, or there's Machi's friends, like the little like cute little whatever that, like his little bug thing wandering around, and he's remembering their names. I'm like, it's actually kind of fantastic, kind of impressive, really.
Skyward Sword's a great game for that because there's a lot of characters. It's one
There
of the
really
things
are.
that it's a bigger cast than most Zelda games feature, and it's one of the
Right.
nice things about it. But also, I think it's harder to do that when you play as many games as you do. You got to remember that Lincoln, he's only focusing on like the Mario
That's true.
and the Zelda, So as you play 60 games a year, your RAM gets overwritten with other knowledge as you kind of keep cashing in and out.
That's true. I'm curious on when that's gonna kind of run out for him, because he's kind of basically ever since he could talk, like he's been able to have like this very almost like a photographic kind of memory. Like he remembers things like crazy. He remembered where he was getting his COVID test. I think I was telling you a couple weeks ago. Like when he got his COVID test like a while ago, he was going back again, knowing that he had to go to the doctor for the test, and they were going to tickle up his nose. And he's like, "Oh, it's by Home Depot." And it's like, dude, that was a year ago that he had his first one. He remembered that it was, although maybe it was more of a traumatic kind of memory that was locked in there. But I mean, that was like a third of his life ago. It was pretty. And then he remembers like all the planets and everything. He's got that going where it's like maybe he's not even my kid, because that's not me. That's more Chelsea. That's definitely more Chelsea. She's got a good memory. Yeah, 60 games a year, probably not. I am about to finish a game though, Donnie. I'm gonna finish Scarlet Nexus.
I think we mostly play. I think we probably get close to that number than we want to admit.
60?
Yeah,
Like touching 60 games? I
Yeah.
would say we probably touch 60 games.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Although right now I'm kind of, well, who knows?
Dev
I feel
prides himself
completely
on being the
overwhelmed.
guy that doesn't play everything. It's like a badge of honor with him. But
Sure.
I think a lot of people that kind of keep up with the recent releases, like you're gonna at least
I think if you
touch-
look back, like, yeah, like listen to our podcast. Is it like almost every week we're talking about at least something new?
yeah.
So there's 50 weeks, 52 weeks a year. They're mostly talking about at least
And
something
like
new.
with Game Pass, and some of them are just not for you, so you drop them quick, or some of them are real quick. You beat them in an hour or two. Definitely.
I'm loaded up, man, on games I actually bought. I bought, and I'm almost done with Scarlet Nexus, at least with
Yeah.
one playthrough. I know you're probably done with that. You don't
I
feel
quit
bad,
on it.
nothing like that.
I
You're just done.
uninstalled it. I just couldn't keep it going. I made it through phase
Yeah.
5, and I was like, "How much more of this is there?" I looked up a guide. I
Yeah.
think that was like not even
You were
halfway
like
through.
not half. Yeah.
Like on one run, let alone
Yeah.
like the other second run. Life's too short to just play stuff you're not really enjoying.
I'm mostly like near the end now. Like I'm like kind of pot committed because I'm at phase 11 of 12, so I'm there pretty much. And I put a couple hours in last night, which was kind of nice after my walk outside where I damaged my lungs, for probably the week. But yeah, I think I'm happy that I'm almost done. But at the same time, then there's Jace on the other side going. He played through both sides of it. I probably should just like watch a YouTube video on it, because there's nothing really gameplay wise. I don't think that I'm missing anything by not playing both sides of it.
That's what I do with
It's-
Nier.
Yeah, exactly. It really does feel like Nier Automata, actually. Even the way the character runs around, like the
I'm not gonna play
areas
the
that
game
you're
twice.
in. No, I have a hard
too
time
much.
with that. I kind of always have, actually. If there's like a trophy or something around for it that
Nope.
you gotta do that again. No, I guess I won't get that platinum. I don't think that I've ever
I
been
could
there.
be more clear again. Like 2 or 3 years later, when I'm just nostalgic and I want to return to it, sure.
Sure.
I've replayed
Yeah, I mean,
Last
that's
of Us
literally what
4
I'm
or
doing
5
right now.
Times over. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to play an entire game. Stop it. Start
Mm-hmm.
it again just to do the other route. Like that's never going to happen. I don't even do that
There
with,
are-
with Fire Emblem. Like I'll play one side of Fire Emblem.
Oh God!
And I'll
especially
either-
at an 80-hour game like that.
I'll either look up the other side or like I'll wait a year and then I'll play the
Yeah.
next side the next year or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could fire up. I mean, I'm loaded, man. I've got Skyward Sword now. I've got on my Switch. I've got Monster Hunter Stories 2,
Nice.
which I'm just stoked about, man. I'm
Really?
really really enjoy. Oh yeah, and I'm excited about it because I think the game is good, but also because it's new to me. Like it's that like I think I just like discovered something that I really wasn't expecting, and I'm in discovery mode with
Okay.
this game,
Yeah.
which is kind of fun. Doesn't
Probably
happen
how I
all the
felt
time
the first time.
Yeah.
I really liked the first one.
on 3DS.
I played it for 10 or 15 hours before I moved on from it.
Yep.
This one feels a
Mm.
lot like that one. Like it's a little prettier, but not nearly as much as you would hope.
Is it easy? Like all the way through? Are they known to be sort of like?
I
It
can't
seems
talk about
kinda
the end
easy.
game because I only played the first. I mean, it's Pokemon-ish.
I mean, it's just early. Yeah. I'm definitely like I'm still within the first 10 hours or so. So I think like probably still
I've been
in
playing
tutorial
Skyward
land.
Sword for a while, so I'm glad I waited. Maybe I'll get it. I don't know. I was bored with the demo.
Were you?
I expected like from all the cutscenes and everything, I expected like the story to be better and just a lot, maybe a lot more of it. And just I think honestly, when I got dropped into the world and I just started running around, I was like, "There's nothing here." Like
Yeah.
that's how it felt on 3DS, which you often would chalk up to it being on 3DS. Now it's on Switch.
Yeah.
Like I kind of feel like I had higher expectations.
And it doesn't seem like more noticeable when it's in like there's nothing in high definition or
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just bigger, emptier spaces. But I don't know why. Like, because I think part of it is because I've always had some sort of like, I just wanted to be in on Monster Hunter. I see all these people like they're in on it, and I'm like, that looks a lot of fun. I tried Monster Hunter World.
I say, didn't you
on
get into
Xbox.
World?
I think I did 20 hours or so. I don't know that I really like
It's a lot.
even never understood. That's a lot of hours to spend in a game that I didn't really understand what was going on.
Yeah.
You know, and even with Scarlet Nexus, like this happens to me sometimes where like I could look up systems, like how things are supposed to work, but like there's like a gifting system in Scarlet Nexus that I didn't really understand until like phase 7.
Oh, really?
And yeah, like I didn't even like look into it at all.
I'll say I got that. I think like after the first chapter. Like I'd already.
Like I saw like I was giving gifts, but I thought I was just like finding them as I was walking around. I didn't realize I had to go to like the store
Yeah,
thing
you
to
can buy
exchange
them.
things for, and that's really progressed.
it's like a
things
whole
quite
trading
lot.
sequence.
Right.
Yeah.
So now the game is kind of turned it because I don't really care what the people say when I hand over the gift. They're like, "Oh, like thank you, blah blah blah." I'm listening to you on podcasts.
See, I
as
needed
I'm
more,
hammering through all this stuff.
maybe more waifu stuff. Like if I was
Yeah.
more into my waifu, maybe I'd kept playing it.
yeah,
But you kind of get the sense from very early on, like it's tempting, like in that direction, but it never goes beyond that. It's like scratches the
Mm-hmm. No.
surface of that, and it's like
no,
well,
and
then I
everybody
don't-
else,
Yeah, and it's like I don't really care.
yeah,
If you don't
everybody
care,
else is interested in it.
then I don't care.
You know what I will say about it though, like is I don't know, maybe this is kind of stereotypical of it, but like there are some pretty like surprisingly deep moments that eventually do happen. And I think it's just because of like they set up the game and the characters as so staunch in their position. It seems like they're very, very one-dimensional for so long. And then something kind of happens that kind of bends them a little bit, and you're like, oh, okay, so there is something interesting that eventually happens. But yeah, I could see where people might be like, this is the whole you got to spend 15 hours with the game before it starts to get good. Like that's I got to say that kind of all at the same time. But it does kind of I was playing it last night. I'm like, okay, there are
But it
a
does get
couple of
good.
arcs here. It does. I mean, yeah, I don't know what my final verdict is.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first game that did that. I don't necessarily hate a game that does
thing.
that either. That's a thing. So, you know, for some people, they like that. They think,
Yeah.
you know, they wear that as a badge of pride. Like, you know, they made it to the end and they got to see all the cool stuff.
Yeah.
But for me, I got games that keep on coming, and I ain't got time, Sean. I ain't got time. I got Skyward
Yeah.
Sword. I got Death's Door. The Ascent is
Yeah.
right behind it. It's like I ain't got time to sit here for 30 hours and play Japanese game. I got to move on.
I jumped back into Doom for a little bit, man.
Yeah.
When that patch dropped and everything, and I think I played through the
amazing.
first 2, maybe 3 chapters, and it's actually a good bunch of game.
When I got
Actually,
my
if you get through a couple
sound
of
bar and my
chapters-
subwoofer plugged in, I turned
Yeah.
it all the way up and was like shaking the house. It was just lights all across the wall, metal blared from the speakers like I was having a Doom moment.
How many colors do you have in your gaming room? Like are they the same? Can you change them? You've got
can
all
change
the
them.
squares
what
are
I-
all different.
What I normally do is I normally set them to fade through the spectrum.
Yeah.
That's why they're all different, because
Yeah.
they're all just kind of fading different. But I can set them to red, green, blue, or white.
Yeah.
And then if you fade or strobe or pulse them, they'll go through orange, purple, pink. They'll mix and they'll go through the gambit of all of them.
That's basically what my keyboard does 24/7. I've never really like gotten into like there's very specific color settings that you can do with keyboards and all that kind of stuff, all the RGB. I get a little overwhelmed.
No,
I'm
you
not
gotta
gonna
do the
lie.
rainbow where it just
That's
spectrums.
basically what it is.
Yeah, there you go. That's good.
Yeah, is that it? Like that's
it, you
all.
did it.
Like I don't know. Yeah, I feel like anytime like even like in any sort of design work, I'm gonna overdo it. I'm gonna overthink it. It's gonna be bad. If I like try and pick a font for something, like it's gonna look like crap. Like I need a graphic designer to help me with my RGB. Like pick me some colors. Like what goes well with everything else. Like I would basically just look at my keyboard
That's what
and I would do
Synapse
like
is for, though,
PSVG.
right? Don't they have it to where you can set it to like match the game you're playing and stuff?
Ooh,
I think Razer just
probably.
does that. Yeah, like they just do it for you.
Yeah. I do like on the the DualShock 4 where the LED on the back would kind of like blink red if you're out of health or things like they would start to reflect kind of the game.
Yeah,
like,
no, I didn't like that.
you didn't like it?
I dimmed and covered that up as much as possible.
I dimmed it, but
I put
yeah,
the
'cause,
sticker over it. Like,
Yeah.
nobody wants that.
Oh, there were cool stickers that you could get too. that
Yeah,
would-
I had a firefly symbol.
oh, that's such a good idea. So you could have like your PSVG colors just on your just repeated.
I
Just
could.
the yellow, the green, the
thought about
blue,
that.
and
Good.
it's like the first thing. That's where my mind goes. I'm like, what exists already? Just copy that.
Oh,
That's
it's
what I would
funny.
do.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason the PSVG logo is done like that is because I just like colors. Like,
Yeah.
Dev over here, Unicorn Rainbow's the worst. You're the worst. Okay, I like rainbow and I like colors.
For
like
RGB?
all the colors.
Pick a goddamn scheme and go with it. He said. What scheme? That's the thing. Like I don't even know where to draw my inspiration
The
from.
thing is with this is the amount of shaming that's involved with
Yeah.
telling other people how they should do stuff, especially on the PC side of things, is
Yeah.
quite grand. It's not my favorite thing about the space.
Oh yeah. I mean, it kind of exists everywhere, but it's a special kind of shaming.
I feel like once you get in the PC thing, like it's
PC.
like it's a real thing.
Everybody's doing it wrong.
Oh, you got a 2060? What a loser. Like, oh, you got a unicorn rainbow? Psh, you're not doing it right. Like, there's a lot of that. I got some of that. My subwoofer does not sit on the floor because it would not
Oh,
reach.
really?
So it sits right on the left of my TV, merely a foot off the floor. And I
Yeah.
got shamed for that as well. And I was just like, the damn rules that you have to live by.
Yeah.
Like,
This is why you don't
guess
tell
what?
anybody anything.
Sounds fun, sounds loud, basses when
Yeah.
it's supposed to bass. So, F it.
You know what? There probably is something to be said about keeping the subwoofer off of the floor. Maybe that is better. Maybe you
Don't
some
tell
sort of
Dev
weird
that.
reverb. Like I don't know.
Don't tell that. Don't tell him that.
It probably I don't know. It probably is going to be shaking whatever it's sitting on.
It doesn't
Probably
shake,
gonna be
but
shaking
mine.
that,
But here's the
yeah.
thing: I have a cheap soundbar. The soundbar was like
Yeah.
$70.
Sure. Yeah.
It's really loud and full. Like when
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching movies, it sounds great. But it's not like shake the frames off the wall, like
Yeah.
90s overdo it loud. It's not like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
just very kind of subtle and rich. It's like very full
Yeah.
sounding.
There's something to be said about just like having your setup and you're just happy with it. Like sometimes I'll go on the Patreon podcast for patrons podcast and just go like I do the things I'm thankful for to start things out. And sometimes I'll just go like my setup. Like I like my space. Like I really, really like my birthday's coming up and I'm like struggling. Like I don't think I need anything.
Yeah.
Like I'm good.
I've been there
Like
before.
I was asking Dev about this too. I'm like, what kind of like PC case do you have? I'm like, I'm at that point where I'm like, do I just like swap out my PC tower to make it like
Dude,
look
get that
fancy? And then
Valhalla case.
there's some really nice cases out
That
there.
Valhalla
You know,
case is
a couple $100 and probably a weekend to swap it all over. I don't know if I could do that.
I almost had Dev build me a new computer just so I could switch cases.
Dano says that RGB gives more frames during
It does.
gameplay.
It definitely
Yeah,
does.
it's
You know
true.
what the Steam Deck is really missing out on?
Yeah.
RGB.
It's shockingly
There are no lights in that
blank.
damn thing at all.
It's just
so
plain. I can't remember who. There's been maybe a couple people tweeting this, and I totally agree. Like it's pretty ugly, right? Like, can we agree on that? Like it
Oh,
might
yeah.
be
Yeah.
one of the most hideous pieces of hardware that's like. And I think that's why I'm surprised that it's actually coming out this year because it looks like a prototype. It definitely looks like a version 1. Next year they'll have another one coming out that maybe builds
That I
upon
might
that
agree
one.
with. When I first saw it, I was like, this will probably get revised. I don't know if it'll
Right.
get revised soon. My
Yeah, but
first
that's the
thought,
product.
my first thought, I actually wish they ripped Nintendo off with the Joy-Con.
Same.
I was like, it
Yeah.
would have been a lot better if you could have detachable Joy-Con so you can mix and match, like if you want the mouse pads or
Mm-hmm. Yes.
if you don't. Like you
Yeah.
could change those out and kind of suit your own fit. I thought that would have been better.
I was wondering about the
But
the
the-
trait or the patent on it.
Without
Like, can they even do that?
without the buttons, like forgive the buttons just all being in a horizontal line across the top. The actual look of the console the screen, especially the back with the grills
Yeah.
and vents and everything. I think it looks sharp.
The part I'm not looking at looks great.
Yeah, I think the screen looks great.
Yeah.
When I've seen people hold it and everything, I'm like, it looks good. And I don't know.
Oh, it looks huge. It
Maybe
looks
I'm talking myself
enormous.
into this, but I picked up my Wii U gamepad and I started like moving my thumbs to the left and right of the joysticks, like trying to figure out like what it would feel like
Yeah.
to move them that way. I think it would feel fine as long as you can hold like, and you can see that they have like the curve of the grip that should sit in the palm of your hand. Like if
Right.
that grip is comfier and natural, I think it'd be fine actually. I think it looks weird because we've never done it before, but like just holding the gamepad, if that's any indication, like should be okay. Because here's the
I
thing.
think gamepad's pretty close to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is it really all that different than like when you drop your when you drop your thumb below or above a stick? Like that's a far further reach for your thumb than just left or right of it. Like it may,
Ultimately, you're thinking about it when you start to do
I
it.
don't want to oversell it, but I am wondering it's one of those things where once you get a hands on one, is it one of those things where you might go, yeah, it's ugly, but like how did we never do this before? You know, because it is
Right.
kind of right there.
Yeah.
So I think there's something to be said about that.
I'm trying to think about like the DualShock 4, even like with the inline sticks. Like, what are you really doing there?
Yeah.
You know, like those are right in the
Your
middle, and
thumb
you're kind of moving
on those DualShock. You're going from here to here.
Yeah,
Right?
9 o'clock
When you're
to
on
12
the
o'clock.
when you're on the Steam Deck, you're just kind of going like this.
Yeah. I want to get my hands on one.
So do
like,
I.
This is one
So
that
do
I don't.
I wish I could hold it before I decide to buy or not. I'm not still. I'm like I've got my reservation. I'm not sold that I'm going to keep it. I'm not sure yet.
I'm glad it exists though. Like that's kind of my thing. Like I don't think I'm ready to buy it,
very
but I'm like
excited for it,
stoked
Sean.
that this is a thing.
I'm very excited for it.
Yeah.
We're gonna do game tech on it tomorrow, but I'm very excited for it. Like I have this fantasy of what it could be, and if it is that, then I'm gonna be so excited to buy one.
What is that?
I want it to be. So I've come to the realization. I mean, I'm probably just gonna have to boot Windows on it. I'm just have to.
Yeah.
wipe
Oh
out
yeah.
Windows.
That's
on
a
it.
that's a guarantee. Yeah.
I want to play all of my Game Pass games on the go.
Yes.
First and foremost, like that's numero uno. Then I would like to take advantage of all the Steam sales and Epic sales and all the free games that I can get, like with GOG and stuff
Right.
like that. That's numero.
I love you were saying like you have like 300 games.
I
It's
do.
Just like I don't know how the heck did that even happen?
I
I'm
don't
in the
even
same
play
boat.
PC, and
Same.
I've got hundreds of Steam games. I don't know if it's 300. I do think it's like 150.
Sure,
I've got
but
tons
yeah.
of games.
Yeah.
So I do want to take advantage of all the other stores and the deals. That'll help me with my spending. And then third is I want to run emulators on it, and I want
I
to
didn't
get.
even think of that.
So like there's a PlayStation 3 emulator that runs Lollipop Chainsaw at almost 4K.
Wow.
There is a PS1 emulator that runs Clock Tower at 1080p, and I've seen these on YouTube, and I just drool over these things. And we've seen like
Yeah.
what Dolphin can do. I've
Right.
never wanted to put that stuff on my computer because I've always scared I'm going to screw up my computer.
Sure.
I like the idea of buying this and like just figuring it out. Like just either I have to send it to Garrett to do it with me, or Garrett teaches me how. But
Yeah,
one way or
man.
the other, like just having a dedicated PC for like this dark red ROM machine that I'm gonna build, like it could be such a great like legacy library kind of contraption. Just kind of keep it there because
Yeah.
I can think of 50 games that are hard to play on my consoles, even all the ones that I have that are hooked up.
Yeah.
That I could just store on this machine forever, and it would make me so happy to be able to play them, even on the go. You know, like
Yeah.
so that's
Does it
in my
cross
head.
over into your Switch time though? Like I don't know if you think of it or you probably
Oh
don't.
no!
but, like,
If
you know what I mean, like
if this machine does what it's supposed to, it's gonna drastically make my Switch a first-party only machine.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is it at this point? It's 4 years.
No,
in.
that's not true. I buy lots of stuff. I mean, I bought Streets of
Or
Rage on
indies.
Switch, and
Yeah.
I'm planning on getting the DLC on Switch, and like all of that would move to the Steam Deck if it works, and it works the way that I want it to.
Sure.
And I like it, and it's comfortable. Like if that's what happens, all of that moves there, and Switch literally becomes I only play Nintendo published games on this thing.
So then it's just a matter of when the games come out.
Yeah, yeah. And I did think of that. If it works, I'm not sold that it's going to work.
Yeah.
I'm not taking Valve at what they said, but if it works like they say, I do wonder like what does that do for Nintendo Shack? Because I might be
Yeah.
kind of you know, just the same thing over and over again, or not playing things for long periods of time, because I'm not going to spend $25 on an indie game that I can get on Steam for $6. Like
Well, it's been the same. That's well, yeah, and I guess if you're playing on the go, but I mean the indie scene has been disrupted just by Game Pass.
just
Like
by
that,
Game
you've
Pass.
already been.
But even
you've
with
already
Game
been
Pass,
disrupted
it's
on
been
that
a
front.
selection. It's
Sure.
a few. There
Yeah.
are 10, 25 indie games a year that I want to buy that come on Switch late, or they come later, or they're on
Right.
sale on Steam. Like all of that I could just get out of the way and just start doing sooner.
Yeah.
You know, like there's how many Switch games, like if I pulled up my Switch, I could probably name you a bunch, but like The Return of the Obra Dinn, which I didn't like, but I'd heard so many great things about it, and I waited on it for so long, and it was like, when's it come to Switch? And it took like a year. And then
Yeah.
Disco Elysium's another one where it's coming out on PlayStation first, and it's people are still waiting for it to come to Switch. And it's like the Steam Deck corrects all of that if it works.
Oh, yeah.
If it works, like all of that goes out the window. You just buy it on your Steam Deck, play on your Steam Deck.
Well, because what it's going to do for you, and anybody who plays on PC kind of knows this already, is like you often see a game come to like one console and then PC.
Yeah.
And what you're going to see now is like that
Or they
if you actually
cross
have,
play
like-
with
Right.
PC.
right?
You know,
right.
not other consoles, just PC.
But now you're going to see like all of it kind of culminate into one. Because like if you're into Nintendo, or if you're into Xbox, you're like, okay, well, some of it are going to Xbox and PC. But now you're going to get all of this stuff just feeding up into PC. Like it's just, this is why people like playing on PC. Like
Yeah.
all the games are there.
Right.
Like
But-
really, it's underestimated, I would say.
Yeah, but with this Proton layer and how it operates, like
Yeah.
most games don't work with Proton now. Now they're saying it's all going to work,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
see.
see. Yeah.
And there's the other thing is, what does it take?
They can't
like,
afford for it to not to work though, Donnie.
like
Like,
if
they
I
really
boot-
can't.
If I put Windows on it and I run Game Pass, like does it work? We have no
Yeah.
idea. Like they're like, it's a PC, do whatever you want, but like we
Sure.
don't know what that means. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can download Game Pass. Games run like trash, but you can do it. Like, what does
There
it
will
mean?
be expendable memory for the PlayStation 5 on launch.
Does it work or not? Like that's
Yeah.
the thing. I need to know. And if we know, then I'm definitely going to keep my pre-order, and I'm definitely going to buy one, and I'm excited. If it doesn't work, then I'm probably going to cancel.
Jace is busting my chops, says because I said I didn't even think about it for emulation. What, and he's calling me a rookie.
Emulate, honestly, that's got to be. I got to think a lot of the people that are really excited about this day one,
Yeah.
got to be people that are thinking about emulate. I mean, this could be the best emulation machine ever made.
Yeah. See, I just don't like. I don't know why I don't think of that. I don't know. It's not like I've had like a terrible experience with emulation, but I guess I just haven't had like the. I don't know. I
So
guess
I'm
I
gonna
could
put
just get
Hot Shots
distracted
Golf
enough.
3 on it. Like I'm definitely. I need my PS3, PS1. I'll do Dolphin, and
Mm-hmm.
and I'll probably be set. Because most everything else has either been remastered or re-released on Steam.
I think that's part of it. Yeah, and like just having a selection, like a focused selection of games. I think that's the thing with emulation. It's like you can play anything. It's like that is paralyzing to me. I don't want my choice to be everything ever made.
Sure.
Like that's not going to do me any good.
Well,
You know, and I
my
think that's probably
64
why.
doesn't work for me anymore because I have my 64 and I have my HDMI adapter. So like I don't care about that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Super Nintendo and all the old retro stuff, like I've got it on my 3DS or I've got it on my Switch. So like I don't care about that at all. It's more for me. It's more like the obscure games. Like I
Mm-hmm.
love Clock Tower and I want to replay it. I don't want to replay it. Like when I replay the original ROM on my PlayStation Classic, it's awful.
Yeah.
But you go to YouTube and you watch these people play it, and it's like in full HD because they've got this graphics processor and everything. It's like I want to play that.
Yeah.
That's how I want to replay it. And if they're not going to remake it, then I have to do it myself. And like the Steam
Mm-hmm.
Deck is a great place for me because here's the thing: if I screw it up, I just wipe it and put SteamOS back on it and try
Yeah.
again. Like it's not my machine. It does. It's
Mm-hmm.
not where I've got my Adobe license and my video editing license. Like there are things at
Right.
risk on my machine for me to just be experimental with. But this thing,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna have anything but games on it. So
You
let
got
it.
Word, you
Yeah.
got your Excel and everything
Exactly.
going on Office 365. On the go, baby.
Could you imagine just somebody pulled one of those out in a meeting?
You know it's
set
my
it down.
gosh.
Like, oh, what? It's my computer, and they hook up like a keyboard and just start typing away at it.
That's just it though. Like that's what it kind of reminded me of is like when I think about like my first laptop when I was in college, the thing was like that thing was just a chunker. It was absolutely enormous. I thought it was slick looking, and it's like it wasn't. It was a portable 47 pounds or something like
Yeah,
that. Like
those
I just
gaming rigs can get Beefy.
I wasn't even a gaming rig.
This
like,
is a beefy
back in
tablet. Like,
2000.
I remember the first time I saw somebody like in public with like one of those Asus ROGs. I was like, what the hell is that?
I know.
It's like you
I
look
don't.
like
I
you're
still don't
carrying
understand
a
it.
portable chair.
It's like a briefcase. It's like,
Yeah.
is there like a Jetsons
There
car
are
gonna
legs
pop out of that
snap
thing?
out in the bottom of that thing or something. Like, dear Lord.
Honestly.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm excited, man, because if it is what they say it is, and there is some hope here that like, I know running Windows on it as we currently know isn't going to be great, but like Windows 11 is very mobile friendly, and like all of the style and everything has basically been set up for it to run on like cross devices. You can see that's designed for that. So like Windows 11 and a Steam Deck might be amazing.
Are you surprised, disappointed, anything that Microsoft didn't do anything like this? Is the Surface
No,
Duo
because I
sort
don't
of the
think this
answer?
works for Microsoft. Because I think, okay, here's the thing. This is great. I'm sure we'll probably talk about this on both of our Xbox shows later this week. But the thing is, I would never expect Microsoft to release such an open platform.
Right.
And I think for a lot of people, they would prefer that Microsoft release, an Xbox branded, Xbox closed console portable. The problem with that, though, is that it lowers the audience. What Steam has done has expanded the audience because they're bringing people in from all kinds of different places. You've got Steam folks, you've got Switch folks that want better Switches, you've got folks that want emulators, you've got Game Pass folks. Like it, because it's so open, it can hit a bunch of different people.
Yeah.
The Xbox, like if they created the portable Xbox, it would never do that.
Yeah.
So I don't think the potential audience is big enough to warrant the investment from Microsoft. I think Microsoft would rather tack, and I say Microsoft,
Kind of best case scenario for them.
I think Microsoft would tack that into like a Surface and try to do it that way, and then that'll never get off the ground because it's not Xbox. It makes way more sense for them to partner with Valve and get Game Pass working on Steam OS, because this could be that for them.
Yeah.
And I hope they do that. I don't think they will, but I hope they do, because I would rather Xbox put Game Pass streaming on Switch, on Steam Deck, on PlayStation, on anywhere they can, on Netflix, on TVs. Do that instead. And instead of trying to product and market your own thing. Because I don't think the audience for an Xbox only closed OS portable handheld that can run the games the way that you want them to run it. So that means price. Talking $400 or $500. I don't think the audience is there for that small of a product.
It's interesting. I mean, it's just a PC model where like the offering in and of itself seems good enough, but then everybody's kind of making up their own what it's going to be to them. Yeah, which is that's how magical it really is.
That's why Steam broke when the pre-orders went up, because that's the thing, is a lot of people are like, "Who's this for?" And it's so hard to answer the question because it's for a lot of people.
Yeah, it really
There's
is.
a lot of different use cases. Like there are people that could be Stadia and get one of these damn things. Like there's a lot of use cases for one of these.
See, I didn't even think of that either. Like
Good.
I'm thinking about like, what do they do with VR at this point? Like this could be, in my mind, this could be bigger than VR. Just because it's not quite as isolating. I think it's priced really well. Like, I think
they're taking a bath on the price, Sean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like those Win machines, this is like $500 cheaper than those. And I'm talking like on the high end of these. I mean, like they are really, I've got a lot of faith that if you run it only as a portable and you're looking at the 720p on the 800 screen, I think this machine will have legs to play games. Maybe not at 60 and maybe, but for at least a few years, I think you're going to be good. Like this is a very solid laptop in a portable kit. Like the internals are very strong. Like the CPU and the 16 gigs of RAM will go a long way for trying to keep it there. I think, at 720p, you should be able to do like medium settings at 60 for a few years. Yeah. And then, for like most games aren't going to be that intensive anyway. We get 10 games like that a year. We got hundreds that won't run. And like for those other games, you'll be able to play those on Steam Deck for a decade.
Sure.
Like this base model right out of the gate. So I've got some faith that it's strong enough to stick around for a little bit, but I'm wondering, like, I hope that it gets successful enough that devs start to account for it in Steam. And maybe they start releasing like Steam Deck profiles of their games.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's what I hope, because if it doesn't, then I do worry that maybe it becomes a little obsolete sooner than we expect. Maybe 2 or 3 years from now, we're running games at, dynamic resolution at 30, because it's really, because that's the difference between, because it's not a console. That's the difference between Switch. You look at Switch and you're like, this thing compared to Switch is so much stronger.
Yeah.
But the Switch has games that are ported, which means they are tirelessly, combed through tooth and comb to get the best performance out of that machine as you can. This is literally just running the PC game because it's just a PC, and you're having to do all of that yourself. So
that's the thing I guess I'm thinking about too, is like, this seems to want to break down walls, right? And be open to so many more people. I'm wondering how many people have a Switch or an Xbox and go like, this is my entry into PC gaming, and how that's going to be for people.
Yeah.
Because sometimes PC gaming is still even like,
I think you can make, especially right now,
to be easy for people.
Right now, with how competitive GPUs and everything are, right now you can make a very strong case that this is like, if you're in the market for a gaming machine, like a laptop or something, you just want to get into gaming, this is it. This is the best. It's the best buy, and it's not really even close. Like, you could spend $1,200 to get what you can do with this Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Now, but that's if you want to put it out to a monitor. Like, I don't think the Steam Deck is going to perform very well when docked at all. I don't know that,
that's what I'm wondering, if you get like a tower power eventually with this thing. Like, Valve, like Nintendo's obviously not going to do it where the dock is giving it extra power. But yeah, like, is there something that they can add on to this thing?
Maybe.
I don't even know if that's what I want.
Extra like processor boost.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have no interest in ever docking this thing. Like, this thing is strictly a portable for me. Like, I just want to, like, the things that I want to do with it are just portable. Like, Game Pass, when I want to play on my TV, I have a machine for that.
Right.
I want to take my Game Pass somewhere else, and I don't want it to be streamed. I want the highest quality I can get on the go. Like, I want to download Gears 6 to my Steam Deck, and I want to play on my TV with all my lights and stuff. And then when I go to work, I want to bring my Steam Deck and play through a chapter on my lunch break and come back home. Like, for me, Game Pass alone is worth, I'll invest $500 into this if it works with Game Pass. If it doesn't work with Game Pass, it's actually kind of a deal breaker for me. I'll probably either not get it or sell it quickly if
the
Game
killer
Pass
app
just
on it.
doesn't work.
Yeah. I'm definitely on a wait and see on this one. I'm happy that everybody else is.
That's smart.
I mean,
I was actually surprised how many people around like, I think 8 or 10 of us got them.
I think it was Jace who said he couldn't get one. I think he was struggling a little bit.
No, I thought Jace got one.
I don't know if he ended up.
I'll tell you this: I had a really struggle. I had struggled. I mean, it took me like I was a little upset. I'm really frustrated because both the OLED Switch and this, I was having a really hard time getting through, and like it seemed like everybody else in PSVG was getting them, and I've never been on that. I mean, I've missed out on things before, but it seemed like everybody else was just clicking through, and I was having the hardest time. And I was like, "What am I not doing? Like, what is the secret to everybody else? Like, what are you guys doing?" I mean, I've never seen Steam under such duress. I've been around for a while. I mean, Steam was like on fire. It was not working. It was broke. I mean, it was kind of a mess.
If anything is built to handle it, like you would think,
Steam.
Like, this is just me, like, not knowing anything about servers or anything like that, to go like, you would think that I don't know. It's obviously it's just a different destination even that handles Steam. Like, it's a storefront rather than I don't know, the multiplayer stuff that they've got going on. Like, millions of people are using Steam on a daily basis. So it's not that. Like, it's just something else. It's just a single point.
Hundreds of thousands of concurrent connections every day.
Right.
And they even disabled like their web presence for a while. For a while, you could only get in if you were on the Steam app, and it was still just burning to the ground. Yeah.
Oh, Jace got one, but it was, they said that might not arrive to him until Q2 2022.
I think I'm in Q1 2022, and I actually, Jace, if it makes you feel any better, I'm actually glad. I want hands-on impressions for a while before I get my hands on one, because I want to know, like, does Xbox plan to support this at all? Are they going to work with Valve to make sure that Game Pass can work in Proton? If it doesn't, like, this is why I was really talking to Jeff, because I was like, dude, I need to see what you're going to do with this thing, because like if it's any indication, I'm not sure if you ever watched Jeff's coverage of Series X, but he put that thing through the ringer. And he had like tables and tables and tables of like which game ran at which, and like he's the perfect kind of a reviewer for me, because I want to know, what does it take to put Game Pass on it? What does it take to run an emulator? What issues do you run into? Because if you got to jump through all kinds of hoops, like it's probably not, never mind, right? Yeah. Just forget about it. But if those early hands-on are like, I wiped it, I put Windows on it, and I'm playing Game Pass, and here's Halo Infinite on it, I'm like, I'm down. Like, let's do it. I'm here. Like, that sounds awesome. So I'm actually glad that I'm not getting day one. I think it's probably smart to come out and hang back maybe a month on this and see, because that's the other thing. It's going to take a minute too. Like, I'm not gonna wipe it the day I get it because it's gonna take a minute for like the mod community and stuff to figure out.
Figure it
Because
out.
like with
Yeah.
anything, they'll figure it out and then they'll improve upon
It'll take
it.
them 2 days. It'll take them 2 days, Donnie. It'll be
Well,
all.
they'll have it working. I have no doubt that they'll have it working. But like they'll come up with their own OS. They'll come up with their own stuff, and they'll be like, just run this instead, and they'll improve upon it. They'll make their own stuff.
Yeah.
So I've got all the faith in the world that it'll do all the things I want it to do.
My hesitancy is not it's almost zero related to the product itself. Like I've said a lot in terms of like what I think it looks like in terms of pricing and blah 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 blah. Like it's more about just like where I'm at in games, and I just want to simplify. Like even today, like I was playing Zelda with my kids, and I was like, I kind of needed a break after a while. Like I just don't know the last time that I've really put in more than 3-4 hours, other than like the 24-hour stuff that we do for Extra Life and everything. Like I don't know if I have it in me, like I don't know that I want to sit and play like either a game or even a collection of games for long gaming sessions.
Well, it's good for
anymore.
you because the Steam Deck battery is not going to last longer than like 2 hours.
I guess there's that. I guess mostly
You'll
what I'm
play it
getting
until
at is
it
just,
runs out, and then you can plug it up, and it'll be like a Nintendo. It'll be like, why don't you take a break and go outside?
no, don't you love that? I love that that's a thing. Hey, maybe take a break. But that's I'm looking forward to simplifying. Like, and I'm actively saying no to, or at least not now, maybe not no, but like for PlayStation and now for this, like it helps me kind of just keep things a little bit more manageable for me. Like I don't need everything. I'm trying to forego that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely a thing, but it feels weird because
definitely have
everybody's got
less-
this thing.
You definitely have like less guilt if you're missing out on something because you don't have the system play on it. I've thought about it
Yeah.
for a long time, but it always gets me because there's always something that I want.
There is always. I just picked up Ghost of Tsushima on PS4 from the
really
library. I know, and I'm like, I don't even know like what I want to put aside for this thing. I also got Miles Morales,
think
the
of, like-
PS5 exclusive that also plays on PS4.
How would Horizon look on Steam Deck or like Days Gone? Like they would play really nice. I imagine.
Probably.
You know.
Days Gone was really that engine scales nicely actually. Like I don't have like the greatest rig, but it was pretty easy. Like it didn't struggle at all on my computer.
That's the thing. It's a
yeah.
modern CPU. It's a modern GPU. It's not the most strongest one, but again, the output's 720. For all the people that are like benchmarking and trying to predict like what it's like, the output is 720. Stop thinking about it, Doc. Don't worry about it because it's not. It's a portable. It's meant to be a portable. So if you benchmark it at that, then it's really strong. It's really strong.
And you have to remember, like, people I think forget what 4K. Like 4K is 4 times 1080p. Like that's the number of pixels. It's 4 times that. So if you're at 720, like you're at a fraction at what everybody else when they're talking like 4K 60
Also,
and
it's
blah blah
7
blah.
inches.
Yeah.
If you're at 7 inches,
So it doesn't matter.
720, and it's 12 inches from your face. It's honestly, it's close. Like they're very relatable to each other in terms of size and distance. There's
It's a little bit too that
Yeah.
anybody who took shots at the Switch over the last couple of years on like just on the resolution alone, it's like, well, now you can kind of understand where everybody was coming from on that.
There is.
Because it doesn't matter. The screen is so small, pixel density is fine, everything's great.
It does matter to me sometimes. Depends on the game.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does matter. And even for Switch has so many trade-offs. So like, I normally play my Switch portably. I was playing Skyward Sword portably, but it looks so good docked on the TV with the colors.
Yeah.
But also, it plays so terribly with the Joy-Cons.
I want to ask you about your
versus the
color
Pro
settings.
controller. Like the Pro controller doing the hit stick with the Pro controller is infinitely better than with the Joy-Con. And it's not about drift. It's just the Joy-Cons are so small. You
My
know?
Joy-Cons are the batteries are dead. They will
Really?
not charge. They are done.
Oh, you
my
can swap
my
those
day
out.
one, I don't even care. Like I don't even want to. I don't honestly like. Doesn't really. I just kind of keep
Yeah,
them
'cause
on
you
there
do the
I feel
light.
like it looks. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like if I'm playing. Well, if it's attached, they're fine. That's the weird thing. But as soon as I take them off, they're like these batteries are dead, and it's like, well, they never come off.
Negotiator
So it just-
says he can't wait for a Digital Foundry to build a rig based on the Steam Deck and do preliminary testing.
One of my favorite things they do.
Yeah, that'll be really cool. I hope they do. I hope they bring in like a portable screen and everything because
Yeah,
the power draw on the Steam Deck is like 4 times less
nothing.
than Xbox One. So
it's crazy actually.
the
And I guess-
screen and everything would be very important with that test. It'd be very important
Yeah.
to run everything with that at the same.
I think that's the hardest thing to mimic is the power draw. Like, how do you even come close to that? There's nothing that you can put together. Was it like, I don't remember what it was, like 20 watts or something like that? Or was that the
That's right.
Switch that I was seeing?
I think that's right. It's a fourth.
that is
I think
crazy.
it's a fourth of what the Xbox One is. It's like 16 or 20, and then like the Xbox is like 80 or 85 or something.
Absolutely nuts. Like, that's You guys have to, if nothing else, you kind of have to have an appreciation for that. You know, it's the
So
same thing that we had when we got our Switches. Like, I can't
there's
believe
a
I'm playing this
lot
game on this
of
thing.
shit they shoved in that little handheld. Like I know
Yeah,
everybody's
man.
like it's big. It's like yeah, but there is a lot of stuff in there. Like they really packed it in. Like I'm very impressed with the. I think a lot of people are. I think most of the enthusiasm I've seen for people that are trying to pre-order one. I'm
Oh,
very
yeah.
impressed with what you're getting for the money.
Oh, definitely.
Like for the
Yeah.
money, bang for the buck. Like this is a sweet deal. Like it almost feels like Valve's like doing us a favor.
Yeah.
You know, because I'd imagine Dell would sell this for twice the price. They would
Yeah.
the same exact tablet and everything, and they'd be like, "It's $1,200."
Well, it's the same. It's the same idea. Like, you just get the
Or Surface.
This is
But I'm going to throw
Yeah.
Dell under the bus. Have you tried to buy a Microsoft Surface? They're really expensive, and they don't hold a candle to this thing.
yeah.
You know, like that's.
I always wonder that. Why do people like it? Looks really nice, and I guess you're just paying for like it's sort of like the Apple model as well.
I
These things
think
just look
there's
really good.
definitely some of that, but also in the tablet and like mobile consumer space, prices are just higher.
Yeah.
You know, like that's just the price. That's the market for this. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
if Valve was said that this thing was $1,000, I wouldn't have been surprised because I actually think that's where this thing is probably marketed. But the
Freaking
fact that
Kato got one. Kato's in the chat. Console Kato got one. She got the
Whoa.
lowest. It's really
Oh.
surprising to me. That's awesome.
Kato, that's not good.
The
Okay.
lowest storage option
All right.
might have been a mistake.
So the lowest storage option. I'm worried about this. I'm trying to
Yeah.
tell people because I have several
storage.
folks that are like, I'm gonna get that one and just do it myself. There's a lot of stuff packed in there. I don't know if
Do what
anybody's
yourself.
like replace it. Apparently, there's an M2 slot. If you buy one of these drives, you might be able to put one in yourself. It's not soldered down. It doesn't look like we don't know it for sure, but it doesn't look like it's soldered in. But if you've ever opened a gaming
I was
laptop,
just gonna say the same thing. Anything even like this, even
it's
just laptops
so
now, just in
complex to get to that stuff sometimes. Like it's
Yeah.
not going to be the Switch. You're not just going to pop it off and then put it down. Like you're going to have to take things apart to get to
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad.
Remove this fan.
Um,
Remove this thing.
Kato, the low storage one, it's the eMMC flash storage. It's woefully slow compared to the SSD, and you have to worry about that because most games now, especially going forward, require an SSD. So running off the eMMC, you're going to run into lots of like stuttering and like video hitches and load times, and it's not going to be great. That thing almost feels outdated just because so much of game dev now is focused on like memory bandwidth and storage access. Like that's
But what
the
did it go
thing.
from 4? Did it go from 400 to 550? Was the jump? Was it one-
529, I think, and then 650.
Something like that. Okay, that's
Yeah.
not too bad.
And it's worth it. And those drives, you can get a 1 terabyte 2030 M2 on Dell for like 200.
Yeah.
So if you want to get the low model and do it yourself, like you're gonna basically pay for the high end model anyway. It's not like Valve's ripping you off; they're basically
Yeah.
giving it to you at cost. But doing it
Yeah.
yourself, like I'm a little concerned because there's a lot packed in there, and it might be a bitch to get to.
It's like anything that you buy new, you try to like put it back in the packages. You're like, you're never getting it back in there the exact
You're
same
always
way.
gonna wind up with like
Like,
2 screws.
I
Where
was
do these
just gonna
screws
say-
go?
Why do I have these extra screws? Like what is gonna fall apart here? That's the shape that my Wii U is in right now. That's why that's why it'll never start working again, dude.
Yeah,
It was super interesting. That's really interesting that Kato got one as well.
that's
And
awesome.
the OLED.
We
She
can-
pre-ordered the OLED as well, and the like. Look at this.
Really,
She should be on
she's
this show.
living the Donnie life. We need to hang out. Kato.
living the Donnie life. Mm-hmm.
I did the same. I feel like I'm the only person I know that got both.
Yeah,
I have
no,
Kato
I
over to
think-
Nintendo Shack one time.
Yes, honestly,
We should
You
definitely
really
do
should.
that. Mm-hmm.
Especially when Garrett's just like on the no-show streak right now.
You know, funniest thing about it, he told us weeks ahead of time, and we just forgot. So we were waiting for him, and we're like,
Oh
"Where's
god.
Garrett?" And then we messaged
Yeah.
him, and as I messaged him, I was messaging him. I was like, "Where are you, Garrett?" And then as I hit enter, I look at Rebecca and I go, "Didn't he tell us he wasn't coming?" And then
Mm.
that was his response. He's like, "I'm not gonna hear this week," and we're like, "Ah, we remembered just like half a second too late."
Classic planner conundrum. When you tell everybody well in advance, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's too early.
We forgot.
People don't remember that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
me. I'm so absent-minded with stuff like that.
Jay said that he got both as well.
Ooh,
There's a couple people who got just.
yeah.
just
I feel like I'm
just
in better company.
Treat yourself. Yeah,
Dude, the
no, I'm-
OLED, it's gonna be great.
I want OLED on my light, man. I'm not.
gonna
I'm
be
not
great. It's gonna
reverting
be
on this
great.
one.
It's gonna
This
be
could
great.
be like if I don't like. Have
you
for
seen
Christmas?
Metroid?
Maybe.
Like Samus, she has a glow of her suit. She runs around that light and the aura.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so good in OLED.
This is how I feel like when I say that I think that the what the hell is it called? The Valve. What the Jesus? We're talking about this an entire time. Steam Deck. When I think that is too big, like it's because I already think my Switch is too big for it. Like my mindset for what I want to be holding in my hands, what the size of that should be is the Switch Lite. That's the size of what I want. The Switch is too big, like a normal Switch, and then the Steam Deck is going to be too big as well for me. That's kind of where I'm at.
Well, it's like
And
twice as heavy.
I know.
You're gonna be able to hit somebody with a Steam Deck like
I know. Well, it's same as PS5.
It's a theft deterrent.
This is the thing. They're too big. I've already got, like, my PC is already enough. This is the size of my toddlers here. This is enough. I don't need everything else to be gigantic. I think it looks like a Game Gear as well.
Yeah.
That's kind of my first take
that's
on
fine.
it. Just to,
Kind of like that about it. It's kind of cool.
I'm glad everybody's getting it. Like I said, and I'm glad that it exists.
Look, I can finally play Madden on the go. Damn it! Been waiting on EA to do this on Switch for years. Like, you know what? I'll do it myself.
Is Madden on PC? I didn't even realize
Yeah.
that it was.
EA is publishing all their stuff on PC. Like, they're going that
Son of a
PlayStation
gun.
route where they're just releasing all of their stuff.
Back again. I mean, I was playing.
And if I can
used
put
to play
Game
Madden
Pass on
PC
it, if I
back in
can
the
boot
day.
Windows and run Game Pass, then I don't have to pay for it. You know, like, it's just there.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
Yeah,
you're not
man.
more interested just the Game Pass route alone.
I am like this is I don't know. Maybe I'm probably
I would have
overcomplicating
played
it.
Ori so much on the Steam Deck versus my,
Yeah.
my PC or my controller.
I just like I'm maxing out on devices. You know, like I really feel like I'm just kind of like overwhelmed. I look around. I'm like, I've got a watch here. I've got
here's the
two
thing.
work phones and
Let's
stuff.
just get rid of some of them, right? Turn around, just
Yeah.
close your eyes, throw a couple darts,
point.
hit stuff, and just, you know, like,
Sell it.
you just gotta lighten the load a little.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I sold
but
my
it's not
Apple
even like
TV.
this stuff I'm not using. Like
Right.
that's not what I'm talking about. Like it's just like things that I could, if I sit down on a Friday night and I'm gonna play something, I've already got enough options. Like I'm kind
Kato
of
says Game Pass
kinda good
aspect,
there.
Halo.
yeah.
Halo
I've got
Infinite.
like that's, but I've also got a good PC right now too. Like I don't
Yeah,
know,
you
I'm
can't
good.
do
If
that
I
at
want,
the office.
I don't know. I need to like maybe change jobs or something. Like that is just not happening.
I'm
For
telling
me.
you, like,
like
that
everybody
lunch
else,
break,
like I,
man, that lunch break 30-minute game time is valuable.
yeah,
Lunch
I'm
club, man.
mostly podcasting at
Well,
lunchtime.
yeah,
at
I
least
could
right
see
now.
how that would be
I mean, there's
problematic
That
for you, yeah.
part. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I feel like when I'm at the office, though, which I
you're
am
traveling,
going back to, which is kind
When you're on your way to New York and you're just
yeah,
doing Halo from
that will be the one
14,000
time.
feet over the, you know, like, that's amazing.
I got like that's just it. That's Switch time.
I'm not
That's
trying to
Switch time
sell
for
you
me.
on it. I'm not.
No, I know what you mean. I know. Jay says my lunch is usually a nap. Yeah,
I wish I could
like,
nap
but when
that for that short of a burst. I feel like that would make me worse.
when I'm at home, it seems like I've gotten a little bit better. Like because I record 2 of my podcasts during the week at lunch, but for the most part, I'm kind of working through my lunch hours. And I'm kind of jealous of this. Like I get to just kind of go play a game. I also would be. I don't know that I could come off of my lunch break. Like if I'm got an hour, I'm gonna go play a game. I think it would be pretty rare for me to go like, okay, that's it. I'm gonna finish up my game and I'm gonna go back to work and totally focus on work. Like I would have a really hard time switching back and forth. And sometimes I do have a hard time switching back and forth between podcasting and then jumping right into a meeting, which I
Wow.
often have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason the PSVG Mario Golf Tournament's called the Lunch Club because I used to always play it at lunch.
See, that's a game that would work.
And there's a bunch of
That
games
totally,
just like that on
like,
Steam. There's thousands of those.
18 holes. Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm thinking
there
like
are.
Fall Guys. Everybody's like, we own Fall Guys on Switch. It's like, psh, I'll have it before you do. And it'll run better.
Yeah.
It'll look better. And I can cross play and I can voice chat. You know? Like,
Yeah.
And I don't even have to buy it again because I bought Fall Guys on Steam to begin with. You know, like,
It's one of those things. I was in this situation with Stadia actually. And I think you might have been there as well. I mean, you started a Stadia podcast where it's like, I want this, like all the promise of it sounds awesome.
yeah. the
And I
promise was
want
there.
it to, I want it to be successful.
I wanted
now it's just a
Google
matter of
to
like,
be
do
Xbox.
I want to? Yeah.
I wanted Google to start buying studios and be a real player, and because they've got they've got all the money to burn. Like if they wanted to be a player, they could. They just don't want to do it. They don't want to
No.
invest. It would take, I would say 50 million, but it would take billions of dollars. Like as we've
Billions,
seen
yeah.
since Xbox Sense, it would take billions of dollars. Like a 10, 15, $20 billion effort to catch up.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to do that. They want to play at the big boys table.
You could just buy Ubisoft, you know?
They could. That's the thing, though, is that they could.
Yeah.
Like they are that rich. They absolutely could.
There's a man. We don't normally talk about like what's. I don't even know if I want to go there. What is Jay saying? Portable time is bathroom time, bed, and in front of TV when I don't want to sit at the
So
PC and
that-
also watch something.
So Jace, actually, I'm with you there. A lot of people don't like, you know, I say this all the time on Shaq, and I don't think, because I take pictures of my TV and stuff. I don't think people
Yeah.
really realize most of my time when I'm playing portably, like I'm sitting in front of my TV. I'm just not playing
Sure.
on the TV. Like I'll sit back in my recliner and just like lay back, or I'll sit on the couch when my wife's watching something and I'm playing something.
Yeah.
And I'm just there, like I'm there and I'm being present, but I'm not focused on watching what she's watching. That's so much of my time with Switch is just me around the house. I'm not even going anywhere. It's just
Yeah.
me playing around the house, like in places where I don't have to. I think, and if you're a PC player, and you want to play on the TV, like they've had that Steam Link forever, and they're always
That
trying
is-
to get like this is the thing. It's like get
Yeah.
this, and now you can play everywhere, and you can dock if you want to.
I thought that was interesting that like, yeah, of course, not asking for a dock to be included in the price, but like that was part of the Switch sell was it comes with everything you need to be
Yep.
playing on the go and playing on the
Yep.
TV.
Yep.
This is a handheld device.
It's a
that
handheld.
you can start to pile
I think the
on.
reason they're not including a dock is they don't want you to dock it right away. Because
Right.
I think when people dock it, because they will, when the reviewers get consoles and they dock it, I don't think it's going to go very well.
Right. So yeah, because it's 720 output.
It's going to be like 1080, 30, like across
Yeah.
the board, probably at medium or low settings.
Yeah. I mean, for me with my Switch, like I feel like I'm almost having a renaissance with it lately because I've just now got I've always had my dock here so that I could stream with it, but it's only been until just recently that I've got another dock that I can have on my TV outside here where I play Xbox.
Sure.
And so in the same place, like finally after years, in the same place I can either play Xbox or my Switch like very easily on the TV. And it's like I've forgotten almost how good the Pro Controller feels and how good it feels to play like a Switch game on a TV. Like
I love the Switch Pro Controller.
back
It's
there.
very good.
It's really, really good. I wish it had audio output on it,
That would have been nice. I like audio.
That would have been, yeah, because that's kind of where I don't love the sound coming out of my TV. We got rid of our surround sound and everything like that. But I feel like I'm just kind of
they make
re-loving
adapters
my
and stuff
Switch
for that.
again.
You can
I
fix
have
that
I have
problem
the
with-
Bluetooth. I do have
Yeah,
the
I
Bluetooth
do the
adapter
same.
for my Switch Lite,
Yeah.
and so
You
I
can
feel
plug
like
that
it
into your dock.
into my dock.
Yeah. Like you can plug that into your Switch in the dock and do the same thing.
Oh, well, the one that you're right because I think it does have an adapter because the Bluetooth adapter that I have plugs right into the USB-C.
That's what I have
on the bottom.
And you
Yeah,
just
and I
need
think
an
it does have
adapter.
a
Yeah.
yeah.
I have
Yeah,
the same thing
yeah, I
I
guess.
play with my AirPods. You can do it
Yeah.
on the thing. Yeah.
You know what's funny is when I do if I ever want to have a wireless audio setup for if I'm at home playing on my Switch, I use my PlayStation ones with a USB dongle and it just connects. It's just so easy.
The
You don't even have to
Bluetooth
really think
dongle
about
that
it.
I have that I use for Switch with my AirPods works on my PlayStation 5 too.
Yeah,
You literally just take it and just plug it into the PlayStation 5 and it keeps working.
it's like it's got like this slight delay. I think it is technically is there. I don't know if this is just in my head, but because it's Bluetooth, it's just like just a little bit off.
I had folks
It's not
ask me
perfect.
that. I couldn't tell. Like when I
Yeah.
play, I couldn't tell. With the PlayStation, it's like the audio sounds weird. You got to mess with the profiles and stuff. But
yeah.
with the Switch, I can't tell. It sounds great.
I
I
feel
don't
like
use it that
tomorrow.
often either, though. Like
Sure.
I don't play with headphones unless I'm voice chatting, which you already
Yeah.
know is very rare.
Yep.
Handful
Yep.
of times a year.
Yeah.
Or somebody's in the room and they're doing something. I don't want to bother them, or it's late at night. The only
Yeah.
time I play with headphones. Other times I turn my speakers up.
Yeah.
So
Kids are still small here, so I'm kind of still a little bit mindful on that front. But I
Yeah.
think like things are changing for me. I feel like a lot. Like even just today, being able to play Zelda for a couple hours, the kids are just watching. I'm like, this was not happening a year ago. Like not even a little bit. So I feel like I don't know. There's
that's
there's
what I
an
wanted
excitement
Mario
there for
Golf
me.
to be.
Just sit around and play with your kids.
I
Like
would
they
play-
didn't even
I
want to
would play
play. Like
Mario
they just
Golf for hundreds of hours if it was good.
they were playing take a screenshot game. Like every
Sure.
once in a while they come over and like hit the button and that was kind of
Dude.
it. So
Skyward Sword, I'm really loving the visual updates. I mean, it is a great screenshot game. It's
they
beautiful.
did a good job.
It's beautiful.
Donnie, tomorrow it feels like I'm going to school, like day one of going back to school. Like
Yeah.
I've got my clothes I've got ironed
Your
out. I got my
bag.
bag here is
Yeah.
already. Like
Yeah.
it's all I'm so
You
organized.
gotta find
and
your
I'm like,
ID badge and everything. You're like, oh, let's,
do-
let's figure out how to do this again.
I bought my bus pass tickets and
Sure.
everything. Like it really does feel like school in a weird way. But it's so inconvenient. Like your chat on Empire was just like when we all started working from home last year, a little over a year ago, I was like kind of happy about it. Like it was this twisted like world pandemic, which obviously was horrible. But at the same time, I'm like, I kind of am glad that we kind of just get to stop right now. And now the engine's kind of chugging back
Well,
on
all the
again.
memes and everything were right. Like our specific group of people in the world, we were made for this. We're equipped for this.
Yeah.
To me, anything, I just realized like how much sleep and how much time I gained
Yes.
just by not
Yes.
having to do all this. Like the whole ritual.
Sleep.
Like I was waking up 3 hours earlier than I normally did just to get there on time. And I'm arriving 2 hours late, and I'm so much tireder because it's such a drag getting back and forth, fighting traffic. I was like, I felt the stress. I could feel the stress rising in me. And I'm just like, this is not healthy. Like, and like before, it's
That
like,
was normal. That was just
before,
every day.
it's just, that's what you did. And now that you don't have to, you just realize the stark difference is so drastic.
Yeah.
you
Can't be
know.
healthy for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all just do it. We all just kind of, and we see everybody else do it. So we just kind of shut up about it and just grit our teeth and bear it. It's not good. So I'm kind of like, the reason I bring it up is I'm trying to maybe prepare myself for maybe some disappointment or something to hit me kind of hard tomorrow. I've got to get up very early. I got to catch a bus in the morning. Although,
Like I came home and I was exhausted. I was so tired
Yeah,
when I came home. And
that's
then
what
I
I'm
had
worried
the
about.
podcast. I was like, I was not looking forward to it. Like it was just,
uh,
yeah.
yeah. Dad says, Devin in the chat says headphones above all else.
Of course he does.
I'm looking for new headphones. You just have like the little earbuds. Like that's kind of you podcast that.
Yeah, I've got the Xbox headphones.
Yeah. You using that? Did I hear you say that you don't like those very much? Like those didn't really pan out very well?
No, they're fine. I like them more than my
must
Steel
misheard.
series. They sound great.
Yeah.
They mix the Bluetooth better. The voice chat is not as, from what I'm told, other people on the other end of the line, doesn't sound as clear as it used to.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, I've chatted with you on those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that always seems to be a little bit
My
strange.
Zelda headphones, everybody seems to love. I've got just the
Yeah.
Astro A10s, they're just the old school. You plug them in, and every time I use those, nobody seems to have any complaints. But when I use and it's good for me. I don't play that much multiplayer, so to be honest with you, I don't use them nearly as much as I should.
I'm
I
even
have
looking
them
like
and
outside of gaming stuff.
I've
Like, do
used
I need a
them-
gaming headset?
I've used them
you know?
4 or 5 times since I've bought them. Like, so do I even need them? Probably.
Sure.
Not. Probably.
Yeah. That's why, like, I have this little microphone on the end of my headset here, and it's like I don't know the last time I ever used this thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking through this thing,
Yeah.
like through my PC microphone.
And that's the
here,
thing. You
so-
play so much in front of your streaming setup.
right.
That would
Yeah.
bother. Like, you've already heard me tell you this before. Like, I can't. I think that's why I don't like streaming. Like,
Yeah.
to be on like that, to be like peppy and on stream and talking to people and talking to chat and all that, like, that's so much more than I ever want to do. Then also, it's like my games are on my TV, they're in front of my recliner. Like, I recline back. I'm like, I have like this little gamer thing where like I'm all squunched up in my chair. I'm not even like lazy boy, like laid out. Like I laid out, but then I'm all sit up like with my knees and everything, kind of like in a corner. And I just kind of sit there, and I have my blanket and everything. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
For me,
Well,
it's
that's kind of
comfort.
kind of what
thing.
I'm realizing in this break.
I'd never
I'm
want to
not-
play games like right here in front of this microphone. Like, this is where
Yeah.
I work. This is where I podcast. Like, the idea of sitting here and playing games is miserable.
It's sort of I'm kind of equating it to the like discovery of working from home actually works out, and this whole not streaming on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, kind of working out.
Yeah.
Like
It's
kind
a
of okay
lot
with
of
it.
time back to you, right?
It's a lot of time, man.
Yeah, it
and
is.
it's not even like there's something to be said about, if something takes you 5 minutes, it actually takes you 15 minutes. Like it takes you like a couple minutes to switch away from whatever else you were doing. It takes you the time to actually do the thing. It always takes you longer than you think it's going to take. There's a wrap up afterwards. Like, it's not just, if you were just to look at like, okay, well, you stream from 8 to 10 o'clock, so you're gaining back 2 hours each. It's like, it's more than that, on the time,
It's
and then
the
just
prep
like
that
the
goes in,
the
and
mind space of
The
it and the
letdown
energy.
that comes out afterwards, and the planning,
It's a
and
lot.
the coordination, and the notifications and the streaming. And I see Kato says stream from your recliner. You don't have to be peppy. It's so much more than that. Like, for me,
Yeah.
and this is just me, right?
It's also nothing scheduled. Like it's the removal of
But like
there's
when I'm
a
playing
scheduled
Skyward
thing.
Sword, like, I don't want to be talking to people when I'm playing Skyward Sword. Like, I'm focused on what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want people chatting with me and striking up a conversation and trying to keep up and remember what they're doing and looking at my stream and hopefully it's working right and everything. It's like I'm trying to play a video game.
See, I think for me, it's like once you're there, like it's like almost anything else for me. Like once I'm there, I could like be dreading going to a party or going to a dinner or something, like, oh, I don't want to go. And then
got
I'm there
you
and I'm
there.
like, I'm having a good time.
That's how I feel like
You
when I
know?
podcast.
Yeah.
That's what this is for me.
Mhm.
Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter like what my mood is. Like, podcasting really does that for me. As I sit down, talk, but I focus on this. Like, I couldn't be focused on something else either.
That's
Like,
why I
even
love doing
focusing
this.
on chat while we're doing this is difficult for me. I miss if most people watch this live. I miss most of it live.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Well, maybe that's part of the new brand, Cato, streaming from the recliner. I could do that. And I'm also conscious of the fact that I'm earlier in the day for like it's tough for people to watch my streams because I'm going to stream at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time or
yeah.
daylight time or whatever. And that can be late for people. And I feel like I've really got to hit 8 o'clock, which is my time, which is like 5 minutes after Lincoln goes to bed.
Well,
You know?
you're saving me sleep because I got into this particularly bad habit of I would finish the podcast, and then while I was editing the podcast, I would come over to your channel and just hang out. And
Yeah.
then I didn't go to sleep till like 1:30 because I'd stay
Yeah.
up with you and everybody else all night. So like you've given me sleep back, but I've stopped editing and posting my shows the same day.
That's the best.
And
We find these wins for ourselves. And I
I'm
think
just
they really
going
start
to
to add
bed
up.
right after the show.
Yeah.
And then I'll put it out sometime the next day, usually by
It'll
noon,
be
but
fine.
you know, like there's no time. It's just like it'll go out sometime the next morning.
Dano has a confession to make about our Halo nights that I'm curious to see what he says over here. But it's I'm just trying to I'm getting good habits in. I lost 7 pounds in a week, Donnie.
Wow, that's
Like
impressive.
I'm getting my steps in. I'm running again. I think that's the biggest thing I want to talk to you about tonight. Then I got to jet and get the kids off to doing whatever the hell they're going to be doing here. But I didn't think I was going to be able to run again. Like I don't know if you've had like these moments in your life as we're getting a little bit older and you're like, have I done the last something ever? And I thought that I had been done. I thought I was done running. Cato and I joke about this before we start talking about the recording the Nintendo Drive, where we look. I will often comment that there's somebody running on the side of the road, and she'll go like, "How can anybody enjoy running?" And I actually enjoy
Yeah,
running
it's miserable.
back in the day, but like lately, in the last couple of years, it's been horrendous, and I understand why most people don't like it. But it's something that I'm usually pretty good at, and I
ran
thought like
so much in
like
high
walking
school.
away from that, yeah. And it was like a part of like it's sort of like this, like podcasting, like being done. Now we've been doing this for so long that it's kind of become like part of who you are, and to walk away from anything, whatever it is, with any form of like finality to it is I think it's hard to deal with that. And so I was having a hard time dealing with that on top of everything else. Like I think me getting my stuff in order in terms of like my health has a lot to do with that. Like me trying to regain something that I thought was gone forever, and it's not. And it's just like I didn't run very well. I didn't run very fast. It really wasn't all enjoyable, other than the fact that like at the end, I was like, I actually did that.
Yeah.
And that feels awesome when you accomplish something that you don't think that you're able to do. And it's just like, I don't know that there's anything better than that in the world. It's just, I mean, there's probably a couple things, but that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You think you can't do something and you totally
Those
do
small victories, man, they keep you going.
it. Well, I don't even feel like that's a small one. Like that's kind of the thing, is it feels enormous.
You know what I mean?
It feels awesome. No, I know what you mean. Yeah. But I kind of want to just like highlight it because I had a great week. Like I got a great review, performance review at work. Lost 7 pounds. Like there's things were happening
That's a
last
week.
week. It was great. It was really, really good. The kids are
I didn't do
happy.
anything.
Played Zelda with them. I got my
Nice.
freaking amiibo. You know, like this is
Still in the
things are
box
good.
because you're a monster.
Probably will be. Probably will be.
What a
In the
monster.
box. I like the design of it.
The
Like I like
kids
the
want to
like
see
the
it. They want to
illustration.
hold it. It's a toy.
No, the best thing is that they know that they don't touch this stuff. This
Wow.
is my stuff. This
Imagine,
is my stuff.
imagine, you're a father of 2 toddlers. You build an entire shelf of toys, and you go, "Don't touch it."
They have enough toys. Okay, so this is the other thing too. This is people get hyper focused on like one
That
thing
sounds
that I say.
so
It's like
cruel.
it's not cruel because they have so much stuff. They're good. They're fine. Like they each have their own Switch controller.
Do they have their
and
own
then
amiibo?
Lincoln has his own Switch. They have they have
What happens when
stuffies.
Link loses? What happens when his shield burns, and he has to go back to Skyloft? He
gonna have
needs
to go
the
back,
amiibo.
Just gonna have to figure it out.
Wow.
He's not gonna get it. He's not gonna get it.
Monster.
I know that might make me a monster, but that's it. Dev says these are dad's toys. Get the fuck away from him. Pretty much. Yeah, no, I don't feel bad about that even a little bit. Not even. I don't even like think about it. They have so much stuff that like they don't need this. This is mine. I've kept it this long, and
I'm
everybody
interested to
says,
see if they have as much as you do. It's a lot.
"Oh,
of
they
stuff,
have way
Sean.
more. They have way more.
a lot of
way
stuff,
more
Sean.
than this." Yeah, there's boxes, and it's mostly just crowded around. It's a camera. It's like movie magic. It's kind of like when you see like a crowd at SNL and you think like, wow, there's probably a lot of people there. It's like 14 people. Saturday Night Live. Same idea. It's like, you'd be surprised how small those studios are.
I mean,
Jeff says, "Hell yeah, Sean." They don't have jobs.
not
Why should they
different.
have
I mean,
more?
I've got stuff all over this place that my kids don't touch, but it's not like I don't think I've ever told them not to. They just know better.
Yeah.
I
No,
guess.
they just.
But like,
Well,
if
what's the
my
difference?
amiibo is not like for me, my amiibo don't count. Like if Jack wants to use the amiibo, like he's clear to grab the amiibo and use it. You know, I think that's
I'm gonna wrap it
difference is
around,
the
like,
amiibo
just-
is purely a toy.
It's just boundaries.
That's
They
different.
don't need
like,
everything.
with the consoles and stuff like that. I understand those are valuable. That's
Yeah.
different.
I try to insert like some form of boundaries wherever I possibly can. And it's not that often. So I'm rocking solid on this one, dude. That's it. They get whatever they want. That's it. We'll see how that works out. I'm probably raising serial killers or drug dealers or something, so who knows.
No.
Ellie at least. Lincoln will be fine. Lincoln is a AAA, civilian.
Oh,
He's-
dude, you know
he's
what?
good.
I just realized I never
Ellie's-
kicked off a local.
Oh, okay. Well, same thing as last week, producer Ryan.
Sorry, Ryan.
That's all good. Well, what am I to say? I wouldn't be able to do anything without that kid. Yeah. Anyway, I probably should like bath them or something. Now that they're not allowed to touch anything in here, I'll limit how many bath toys that they got to like 6. They got to count them out. I'll have them on a timer in the bathtub.
Wow.
Dad of the year. Everything's on a schedule. That's not true. That is
Like,
that.
it's like
that
the
part is a
reality
joke.
TV, like prison shows.
Yeah,
Like
that's me. My
everybody
kids.
line up.
That's me, dude. Well,
No,
no, I'm
No.
just kidding. But really, they're not allowed to touch anything here.
I've seen those kids.
But all the other stuff,
Those
they're
kids are totally.
they're good.
totally
they're good.
happy.
Like, I don't have to. I won't get into it too much, but I don't have to worry about a day where we just spend inside and we play games. Like they're doing good. I'm
Yeah.
happy with where they're at, and they're going to be going back to school here pretty soon, and just
Yeah.
trying not to be too crazy.
My
about
kids
stuff,
are like
so.
2 weeks away.
Yeah. Holy snap! What?
Yeah. Yeah.
August?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
They go back August 2nd.
Yikes.
15 days.
Why so early? Why like you're supposed to like? Do you not normally? Did you grow up like that?
When I grew up,
July
we
and
went back
August
to
was
school in
summer for me.
September.
Yeah.
But down here in Georgia, they go back in August. And like when I was going to school here, we went back late August, but they moved it up. I don't know if they're trying to play catch up or what. I don't know.
When were they done? Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah,
don't-
it's September
I
to
don't-
like June.
I don't
was
pay that
school
much
for me.
attention to my kids' school.
Fair. See, now
I saw a stand up the other day where I forget who it was. I wish I remembered. It's one of the newer folks, but they were like, the school called me the other day. And he's like, and I asked her, like, what did you expect to accomplish by this? Like, you pulled out my kid's information and like you've got mom's number and you've got dad's number. And what inspired you to give me a call? I think it was Nate Bergazzi, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. And he was like,
great name.
he's like, you could have called a stranger and you've got further along than calling me. And like, that
That's
is
hilarious.
so spot on with me. Like, I don't know my kids' teachers' names. I got nothing. Like, I have nothing. That's completely out of mind. I've got a person for that. That is her department.
Like your wife?
Yeah, it's like I shouldn't even be listed as a contact. It's like I know so little. Like you'd be better to go off in several other directions before you get to me.
August is not school time. There's a couple. Jay says August to May is there. That's not the way school's supposed to work. September is the start of the school year.
Yeah, it's August to May here.
I'll fight you guys on that. That doesn't feel right at all. August just it doesn't sound like you're going to get anything done. Like it just sounds like a bonus month. It sounds like just extra. Doesn't sound critical at all. September is like, it's fall. Although I don't even think fall necessarily starts in September. I think it might actually be in October.
I don't know.
The 21st. I don't know.
I think it starts in September.
I don't
Because
know.
then
Deb
like
says he's
fall would
100%
only be
with
2
me.
months, and that can't be the case. Like fall's definitely gonna start sooner than that.
I have a complete, total misunderstanding of how seasons work here because we don't really get them anyways. We get like winter and not winter.
Yeah.
Is kind of what happens here.
Yeah.
But that's it. All right, man. I'm going to
done?
peace out. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. I'm done.
Thanks for
I'm
hanging
gonna
out,
go dance
guys.
for a little bit. That
Catch
was
you
fun.
next week.
Bye-bye.